Hello, happy Thursday, everyone. Thank you for joining me. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make lovely and quirky hand embroidery patterns and kits. And I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time, where we relax and we craft and we work on a project together for about an hour here every night. And we work from the projects from beginning to end, so you can participate in the whole part of the process and ask questions along the way. So right now we are working on the Charming Chevrons quilt by Krista Watson of Krista Quilts. And we have a whole pile done already. So we have our little chevrons. I have one more kind of half chevron that I have to make tonight, and then we'll finish sewing our little half chevrons together to make these V's, this zigzag, and then we'll sew the rows together. So we'll get going on all that tonight, but we're going to start out by making the last half chevron that I forgot to do. I think it fell on the floor, so it goes in the last row of the last column of the last row is this half chevron. So we got to get that done first tonight because we are ready to finish sewing these together. So thanks again for joining me, everyone. Oh, you're seriously thinking of doing the cork on Massdrop. So yeah, on Massdrop right now, if you've heard of massdrop.com, I like buying little things from there every once in a while. I'm waiting for a wool pressing board to come from there, but they have cork fabric. I don't know if any of you have used that before. I've been kind of curious about it. Sarah from So Sweetness, she uses it quite a bit in her bags, and so that got me curious about it. I don't know, I'm thinking of getting some, so let me know if you've used it before or how you like using it. Susan, you love cork. Oh, that's good to hear. Yeah, it's a new to me thing. I haven't used it at all before, so I was kind of curious about that. But yeah, so let me know if you've used that before. All right. We're going to get started today on finishing this half chevron. So, oh, you received your wool pressing board today. Oh man, I have not gotten mine yet, Barbara. So maybe tomorrow. I'm going to keep an eye out for it tomorrow. All right, I'm going to flip you around. We'll get going. Yeah, Paula, the cork looks great for bags. Oh, Susan, you make wallets with it. Oh, that's cool. I was thinking it would be neat for like book covers or like little clutches or something like that. All right, let's get situated here. I think we're gonna start over here tonight. So, okay, this is how we started making our half chevrons. And by half chevron, what I mean is, a full chevron would be, going up and down, like the two diagonals together to make a V, or here we go. There's a V right there. So that's a chevron. The half chevron is just the two top and bottom together, and we're making that with two half square triangles. So here you go. It's a square that's been divided at a diagonal to make two triangles, and it's just two identical ones of those rotated in different directions to make this half chevron piece, and then we sew it together with the other ones. So we have just one more row of half chevrons to do. So here they are. They're all going in the same direction. So we need to make one more in this same direction. Oh, it'd be fun to do one of Sarah's bags. She does a ton of videos, so you should for sure check out her videos on her website over at So Sweetness. Is this on YouTube? Never seen it. Oh yeah, so go to So Sweetness Gretchen. I think she's actually having a cork club right now, so you can get a bunch of fun samples, and she has a bunch of videos on how to use cork. And I think you can even like machine embroider onto it, cool designs, and I don't know, it looks like it just sews like any other fabric. So I'm curious about it. All right, so when we started, before we made all these half chevrons over here, we started with some 5-inch squares. And so, oh, is that a layer cake? No, a layer cake's 10-inch squares. A charm pack, right? Is a charm pack 5-inch squares? We cut ours from yardage. So off the bolt, I cut a bunch of 5-inch squares, and we've put two of them together. So I have my purple and then my background color, which is the red. This is what's throughout my piece. And so we've put two together, and I've drawn a diagonal down down one side of it here, like this, just on the diagonal, and I've sewn a 1/4 inch away from that diagonal. So I sewed one, and then I flipped it around, and I sewed the other side. So right now we have some 5-inch squares sewn together on either side of the diagonal by a 1/4 inch. Oh, charms are the 5-inch ones. Oh, I always get that messed up. So you can just get some charm packs, which are a whole bundle of 5-inch squares to do this with too. But we cut our 5-inch squares for this. But all right, so we've done this step already. So the next step is we're going to just cut right on that diagonal line that we already drew, and that will get us to the 2 half square triangles that we need. See, there's one. Doot, 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 doot. And then the other is on the other side here. So it's kind of like magic. You get 2 half square triangles and you don't have any waste of fabric really. So that's a fun technique for half square triangles. And it's the first part of us making our half chevron. So I'm just going to trim on the diagonal with my ruler. I'm just going right on the line that I already have. Okay. Close that up, and there we go. So now we have our 2 half square triangles. There's one, and here's the other, and then if we rotate them just right, there we go. It'll be our half chevron there once we have it sewn together. So first up, we need to press these. And we'll just shimmy right over here. That was easy enough. And we'll give these a little press on the diagonal. Oop, we're shaking a little bit there. Sorry, guys. All right. Oop, move a ruler. I don't want to accidentally press that. So how I like pressing is I like just giving the seam a press first while it's still closed. And then I open it up and give it a press. Oh, Gretchen, you put a picture of your I Love Home quilt on the Penguin and Fish Crafters group. Woo, I'll have to take a look at it when we're done here. Oh, hey, Jennifer from Australia in the future. All right, so we did that, and now we're pressed to one side. These instructions call for having all of our seams pressed open, and I think that helps when we machine quilt this, when we free motion quilt it. We'll have a kind of a flatter surface to work on. So I'm going to just go ahead and press that open as well. Yeah, if any of you are not in the Penguin and Fish Crafters group on Facebook, be sure to, there's a link in my post here, or you can just do a search in Facebook for Penguin and Fish Crafters, and it should pop up. And then just click join and I'll let you in. And it's just a really fun place to share what you're working on or get some tips on what you're working on. And just everyone in there is just so nice. And it's just neat to see everyone's work. All right, second one. Nice to chit chat and just what I love is how when we're all kind of working on the same project, how different everyone's project looks. So like right now, since we're working on this, the Charming Chevrons quilt, there's a lot of pictures of people's Charming Chevrons quilt, and they are all just, first of all, so different, but so amazingly gorgeous and lovely, and they all have their own personalities. Same exact pattern, but just, you know, different fabrics, and it just turns out completely different, and it's fascinates me every single time when I see that. Because, you know, it's the same pattern. You wouldn't think it'd be so different, but it totally is. All right, we have our 2 pieces pressed. There's that nice open seam. Now we want to trim these so they are the perfect size square. So I'm going to scooch back over to here. Hopefully I'm not shaking too much. A little shaky stand here. All right. So the easiest way to do this is using a 4.5-inch ruler, which I got it for when I worked on the Splendid sampler quilt. I use it quite a bit. Otherwise, you can just get any other ruler, and then you want to cut a straight edge. and work around to get your 4.5-inch rectangle. But with this, it's really nice. I have a diagonal right here on the ruler. So I'm just going to place that diagonal right on the diagonal seam. I'm going to make sure that I have a little piece of fabric all the way around. And I'm going to trim it to all that. And I got a little rotating cutting mat, which even works even better when you're trimming a ton of these. All these extra little things help out. So I'm going to cut that one edge. I'm just going to keep my hand right on that ruler and rotate my cutting mat. Then I don't have to like be cutting at weird angles, and that can get kind of dangerous. You don't want all that, because you know these rotary cutters are super duper sharp. Don't want to hurt yourself. Okay, so there's our first one. Get all our fuzzles. I'm getting all the fuzzles on my quilt over here. We'll shimmy the fuzzles this way. How about that? We'll left hand shimmy our fuzzles. I'm actually saving all of these little fuzzles. We're going to make some fabric out of all the little itty bitty pieces. We'll do that probably next week. So if you're curious about that, how we're going to make all the fun fabric out of our little fuzzles, stay tuned for that. We're going to get the rest of our top sewn together first, though, and that shouldn't take too much longer. All right, on that diagonal again. Oh, I did not get a new cutter. Oh, I got this a little while ago. So I have two cutters up here right now. I'm not 100% used to this one. It's a little slipperier. It feels a little funny in my hand because I'm so used to using the other style. And I think the last project that I used this on, I said I needed to change the blade afterwards, and I don't think I ever did that. But just for this one little block, it seems to be doing okay. It seems to still be cutting. But yeah, I just need to go around. I have a few cutters, a few rotary cutters like this. I need to just go around and switch the blades on all of them. I did recently order like a pack of 10 rotary cutter blades, so it's time for all of them to get some fresh blades on them, I think, especially before we start another project, or maybe before we even start the back of this quilt, because I kind of want to improv piece this quilt a little bit, the back of it, and we're going to need a sharp blade for that. But okay, so we are done prepping our 2 half-square triangles for the half chevron. So now we just have to rotate it the correct way. So I need the half chevron to be in the same direction as all these other ones. So this is the last column of my rows. So this is row 7, row 8, row 9, row 10, and row 11 is the one that I didn't do yet. So that's the order. I got them stacked. I can't shimmy these around. It's just right. But we want them in this direction. So no matter how I rotate this, it's always going to be in that direction. So, for the other half of the V, we actually had to rotate them like that. See, now we have the other side of the V. There we go. So it looks like a V going on there. We don't want that in this case. We need it to look the same as these. So I'm going to rotate them back. There we go. And now let's press this. Let's move the ruler. Let's get situated for sewing again. So over here we got the quilt. We're going to work on that soon enough here. But first, let's finish up this piece here. So like that. Then we're going to put right sides together. And we're going to sew along that edge. So I'm going to get you guys down here. Moving around a lot tonight. But it's nice to be right down by the sewing machine, I think. And sorry for all the wiggling. All right. There we go. Let's sew along this edge. And I like having my stiletto here. It's just it's a turkey lacer that I have with some beads on, but I like it. It helps me guide my fabric into the sewing machine. And it also kind of acts like a pin. I can just kind of put pressure on it and it keeps the pieces together. So especially like if I want this last little edge to stay together. I'll put my stiletto there like it's a pin, and then just leave it there as we crawl up the way. Okay. Oh, Jennifer, you started using a small cutter. I have never used one of those itty bitty cutters before. I've heard they're like super great for like applique and stuff though. I should probably add one of those to the arsenal at some point. But okay, we have our half chevron there. I do need to press it open really quickly, but then we will be ready to get back to our whole big quilt, this webbing. We're doing this webbing style piecing on this, and we did this whole thing yesterday. And we just have one more row on that, and then we can fold over these rows. So let's just press this quick. We'll hop over here again. All right, back to the pressing station. I don't need the cutters anymore. We are done with that. Oh, Patricia, I love this little cutting board. So my mom actually had one of the, she has a 12-inch version of the rotating cutting mat. So my rotating cutting mat that it's on like a base that, you know, sticks to your table kind of. And it just rotates. And I always thought, is that really necessary? Why do I need a tool to do that? But I used hers for a little while, and it just made things so much easier. And she had the 12-inch one, but I got the 8-inch one. Actually, I think it's the 7. I think they call it the 7-inch one. But I got that one because I am working in such a small space that the 12-inch one, I wouldn't have room for that. Because, you know, when it's rotated, it's actually kind of bigger than the 12 inches. So I got the littler one, and it has been just right. Oh, it's raining so heavy there in Australia that you can't hear Jennifer. Oh, no! How do I store it? I just store it on my shelf here standing up. So like if you have like a little picture holder or something, you just stand it up in that. I think that would work just fine. Oh yeah, you can't, it doesn't have a hole. I guess that's what you're saying. It doesn't have a hole in it to hang it from. I just store it standing up like that. All right, so we have our open seam again here, and we are ready to go. So this is row 11, so I'm going to put that on the bottom. So here's our last row that we need, our last column of this webbing style. So I'll show you that now. So here we are. This is what we got done yesterday. So by the webbing style, I'm just trying to get you guys not to shake, but ooh, I'm catching the side of my table here. So we are sewing by column. So normally you'd kind of think about sewing, you know, row 1 together, then row 2 together. What we're doing is making this webbing style where we're actually sewing columns together. So this is my row number 7. We actually finished the top of the quilt already. So I'm doing rows 7 through 11. So this is row 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. We're sewing the first one of row 7 to the second one of row 7, and these, and then we're keeping on adding another column. So we did 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then we did 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 again, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And we are chain sewing, so they're all connected by little bits of threads, which makes us have this big, crazy web of our rows together. And we just have one more column to do, and then we're done. And then we just have to sew the rows together. So all we're going to do is flip this over. It's already kind of all attached. We're going to pin all these just so that they're right in the right spot. But it's so nice. I don't have to remember what row goes where because it's all attached. And I do think it goes a little bit faster. This is my first time giving this whole webbing way of piecing a go. So, all right, this is our last stack here. Let's get sewing. I'm going to get you down by the sewing machine again. So we're going to go on a little wild ride again. All right, I think we'll, sorry, I'm just shimming you guys around a bit. All right, right about there. Sorry about my sewing machine lamp is right underneath here. Okay. So starting at the top, let's get our last piece of row 7, and we're going to flip that around. We'll put a little wonder clip there. I've got to find it. Here it is. Hanging out on the ground where all the wonder clips live. Oh my gosh, Gretchen, I love that show. The great British baking show on Netflix. There's something so calming and sweet and lovely about that show. It's not like American reality competition shows where it's just high energy and tense. It's just calming. I don't know what it is about it, but the stuff that they make is crazy town. First of all, I don't know the name of anything that they're making on the show. And there are all these crazy traditional things that we have none of that in the US, not like, in England and Europe and stuff. And it is so calming to watch. I just love it. Oh, I love Mary Berry and Hollywood. Oh, what is his name? I forget his first name. Oh, I haven't seen it in a while. I haven't seen the current season. I'm guessing it's over now, but so maybe that's on Netflix now. They didn't have the current season on yet, but I've seen all the other seasons besides that, plus the little teaching show that they had too. I love it all. So fun. All right, there we go. First one. Oh, it's on PBS first. Oh, that's why. That's why I'm not seeing it. Yep, I gotta wait for it to come to Netflix. All right, so now I'm on the last piece of row 8. So we're not taking it off the machine. I'm just going to the next one. Oh, you like just listening to their voices, Sue. I know, it's all just so calming. I could watch, I think I've watched a couple seasons twice, and you know what? Now that we're talking about it, I think I could almost throw it on again. It's just, yeah, if you have any tension or anxiety or anything, throw on that show and you're going to be good to go again. They should have it in like meditation classes or something, I love it. But yeah, I would not mind watching them again. And they all just are all so cute, and they all look like just fun characters, and I don't know, it'd just be fun. He holds the meringues over her head. I think we tried to make something from that show once, or we made something close. It was kind of a meringue thing. Oh God, it was for Christmas. It was like a meringue wreath. Oh, it for sure had a name, but I can't think of it right now. Oh yes, the two. I forgot about them. Yeah, you're right. The two like hosts like oh gosh, I forget their names now. They're like, comedians or something. They're funny. Oh, you even bought a scale to make his French bread. That's awesome. Oh gosh, it's such a science. I don't know. It's baking is a whole other world for me. So all that stuff scares me. But I love when they bring. Oh yeah, pavlova. That's what it is, Bonnie. That's what we made. Like a pavlova wreath out of meringue. We made that over Christmas, and it was delicious. We have something in that we kind of. That our family has kind of made, like our extended family. We always had at Christmas called sham torts. I don't know if that's what they're really called, but that's what we call them. They're kind of like a little meringue puff, but they're like this big around, and then just like a little, Dairy Queen type swirl on top. So those we call sham torts, and then you put like strawberry. I want to say, what's the word? It's not dressing. Not strawberry sauce. That's it. Strawberry sauce. You pour some strawberry sauce on top of that sham tort. And dang, that's good. So the pavlova is kind of like that, but bigger and in a wreath. And then, you know, we decorated it with fruit and everything too. But that was fun. But I think that's the closest thing to Great British Baking Show that we've made. But man, some of that stuff is crazy. And I love when they make stuff at home. Like they make their special sauce that's been, you know, simmering for 2 weeks or whatever, and then they bring that in and use it in their bake, whatever the bake is. And I just like that cookies are called biscuits. That makes me happy. All right, well, we just have one more, and it's the one that we just made. All right, there we go. Flip the last one, and it's our last little purple. Oh yeah, and they're growing their own herbs. It's just so sweet. I love that show so much. And you know, then the colors of the set are so cute. Like they have those teal, or those like seafoam teal, bluey, like robin's egg blue ovens with that cool door that folds into the wall. That's kind of interesting. But yeah, it's just all so sweet. And what they make, all of it is so ridiculous. Like I love when, you know, Mary Berry and them are showing like what it should look like. And it's just this poofy, you know, weird flowery dome of sugar crazy, of 8 different kinds of sugar, you know, sugar foam and meringues. And we have a French meringue, and then we have the, you know, whatever other meringue, and the other meringue, and just explaining this crazy town of, you know, whatever this dessert is just so funny. I love it. But yeah, I haven't seen this season, so maybe it's on Netflix now. That'll be a good next show. All right, we are done. That means that whole entire step is done for this quilt. Yay! Okay, so what we are going to do next is sew the rows together. So since we're down here at the bottom, I think I'm going to just start down here. All we need to do, since they're all attached by our little strings here, our little webbing strings, we just need to flip it around. So we're going to sew this seam here, but we need to match the seam still. So we're going to go, and this is the part that kind of takes me a little bit of time, but we are going to go and I think I'm actually going to start from the other side, just so we end up there where I want to sew. But I'm going to open the seam up so we still have all our open seams. Open that one up. Gets finicky for me. And then we'll put our seams together. We don't have to cut that little loop or anything. That's perfectly fine. And we'll just clamp it with a Wonder Clip. And there we go. So now we just need to do that with every other seam along this whole piece. So it's going to take a little bit of time. I'm going to grab my little bin of Wonder Clips here. Open that up. And we will just clip this whole edge. Oh, it's not on yet. Okay, bummer. That'll be fun when that comes on again. So always a chill out, relaxing show. Love it. All right, I definitely don't have the knack of opening these seams for this part of it. I'm not used to sewing with open seams like this. Usually I'm pressing my seams in opposite directions so I can nest the seams together, but we're testing out this way of doing it with all open seams. There's sort of that there's all that debate, I suppose you could call it, in quilt land of if you should press the seams open or if you should press them to the side. I've always pressed to the side. I kind of think it protects the seam a little bit more because, you know, if I pull on this, in theory, I could, you know, potentially see batting maybe. I don't know. That's one argument. The other argument is if your seams are open, then they all lie flatter. So if you have that big bulk of pressing all to one side, if you have that big bulk, then potentially over time, it's going to just wear the fabric on those bulk areas. So in theory, pressing them flat is good for like longevity's sake. Krista from Krista Quilts, she likes, this is her pattern, she likes doing pressing with the seams open. And she says that it helps to even reinforce the seams because you're tacking down all the seams again, like when you stitch over them. So I don't know how I feel about either way. It's just kind of however you learn, you know. But I think it's still pretty much a debate. What's the right way and what's the reasoning for that right way? But since I haven't really done it this way before, we're giving it a go. I guess another benefit of pressing them open like this is that you don't have to pay attention to, oh, this row I'm pressing them all to the left, and then this row I'm pressing them all to the right, so they nest together. This way you don't have to think about that at all. Susan, you've always pressed to the side, but a few times I have pressed open less bulk. Okay, so you're conflicted too. Yeah, I'm totally with you. Like, I get the concept of less bulk, and especially for the free motion quilting that we'll be doing, that totally makes sense. But yeah, I don't know if I'm matching my seams up as well, but you know, that could be just because I haven't really practiced doing it this way. I don't know, but I haven't done it, so we're giving it a try. That's what I like. This is kind of my craft time, is my time to kind of like learn and experiment and try new things, and even if it's just pressing seams open instead of to the side. I try and use it all as like my scientific lab or my library to learn new things. Oh man, I can't pop this one open. There we go. Ah, no, I lost it. Thinking there's a trick to this once I get going. Yep, it can't hurt doing it this way, I don't think. You're right. Ugh, this one seam wants to not stay open. Ugh, and I closed this seam again too. So one of the issues why these aren't staying open is we have not pressed this quilt at all yet. So we haven't pressed any of these seams open that I'm trying to open here. So, and we've done that, we haven't pressed yet because I am doing that webbing method. I wanted to keep it all unpressed, so it'd be easy for that. But, you know, now we're having a little difficulty with that. Yeah, I could, you know, that probably would help Paula hitting it with an iron, but I want to save all the ironing for this whole top to do all at once because I kind of have to switch over my whole area. I'm working in a super small area here. It's just kind of like a little kitchen bump out basically. And if I'm going to be pressing a big quilt like this, I need to kind of move the table and get the big ironing board out and all that. So I want to, you know, I don't want to, I can't go from pressing to sewing to pressing to sewing again very easily. So I wanted to just get this all sewn, and then we'll spend a whole bunch of time pressing all of these seams. All right, I'm just checking that the seam is open on the back. I think my stiletto is going to help me a lot while doing this. Just to help guide my way through. Yep, I got an open seam at the back. I know last time when I was working on this, when we worked on the top half, I wasn't checking the seams, and I don't think I got a lot of them open. So just checking it. Oh yeah, like this one seems like it's wanting to press close. So let's just make sure that's open. Oop, folded it over a bit. All right, so once I get through the seam, that's kind of when I'm checking everything again, matching up the edges, and then starting again. Oh, I forgot to check that seam again. Oh, we're good. Looks good. So I'm just kind of right now putting faith in my my 1/4-inch seam allowance, which may not be all that great. But if I've cut everything perfectly and I've sewn a perfect 1/4-inch seam allowance, then all my points, the points of all these little chevron edges, triangles, should all be good. They should look like points. They shouldn't look like I skipped an area or that I've clipped them or chopped them off at all. My guess is that it's not very perfect, but that's okay. I'm more excited about getting this quilt, this top done. This one I didn't fold in half. Getting the top done so we can get free motion quilting it. That's what I'm excited about. Oops, folded the edge over again. All right, almost done with this row. Takes forever to pin, and then it sews up real quick. Oh, you're gonna make a stiletto like this, awesome. Oh, you didn't see a turkey lacer at Kroger's. It might just not be the time of year for it. Like, I bet you in November around, or October, around Thanksgiving, when they start putting Thanksgiving stuff out, I bet you they'll be a little bit more available. Okay, last little bit of the row here. Okay, I need an ender, but it disappeared, so I'm gonna grab another one. Okay, so that is our row, this is our row 11 to 10 that is sewn together, so it's coming together. So things aren't matching up perfectly, but hey, that point's not too shabby. I'm okay with that, I'm happy with that. Oh, this one got a little clipped and it's not perfectly matched up the seams, but you know what? It's all good. Ooh, now dang, that looks just about perfect, I would say. All right, now I know I at least have one perfect seam. All the rest can be bad. But yeah, look, the point is right on the point. I'm not clipping it, and I don't have a big gap. And, you know, all the edges match up. That is a good looking area right there. I was kind of like peeking how we did. This bottom row I'm kind of goofy on, but not too shabby. Yeah, so here's an example of me clipping it. You don't see the entire point there, but again, I don't care all that much. I'm just excited to be this far. So, all right, let's fold this over again. So the bottom two rows are done. So we just need to go back to the 3 rows that we don't have done yet and do the whole fold over and then clipping them together. So same exact thing. And the nice thing is that I don't have to look to see what row, like I don't have to organize my rows because it just, they're all together. They're all still clipped together. Oh, yeah, so turkey lacers, like, just look to see what turkey lacers are. Oh, now to find the beading. Oh, yeah, you could probably just get beads like this from a Joann's or Michael's, I'm sure. They probably have them on a stack, or you could probably just gather some. But if you are going to look for beads, you don't need this, but I do really like this flat one in the middle. It acts as a handle a little bit for me. I like it. I like that it's flat. So I would do a little search for a flat one to throw in the middle as the handle. But, you know, again, it's not necessary. I can still hold on to it with a round bead. All right, let's put these guys together. Okay, I got my same Wonder Clips up here. Oh, you wanted to see it? Oh, hold it still. Oh yeah, I'm wiggling too much. So here you go. It's just the turkey lacer, and there's the flat bead in the middle. So it's just they're just threaded on the turkey lacer, and then you got some of these cute little, I don't know, cute little attachments onto it. And then I'm guessing there's just a little bead of glue or like hot glue gun or something down in there. But yeah, it's just so neat, and I love mine. And I love too that it's a turkey lacer. It's just something simple, you know. End caps, is that what they're called? With beading? I used to do a ton of beading. Man, that would be kind of fun. I should show you guys that sometime. I used to make a whole pile of beaded bracelets when I was younger, and like woven beaded bracelets where I'd like write people's names on it and stuff on the bracelet. And just all things beaded. That was fun. I still have all my beads too, and buy all my other craft stuff. They're fun to break out every once in a while. They're pretty disorganized, but some are awfully pretty yet. Ooh, you beaded table decorations. That's interesting. That seems more intense than anything I did. I had like a little loom for beading on. I liked all that stuff. Still like all that stuff. So we have not, so this is like quadrant B. So this is rows 7 through 11, but the right half of that. We still actually have to do the left half of it as well, the rows. So we have it all webbed, like we have all the webbing done, but we have to sew the rows together for that as well. So that'll take a couple days yet. I think we'll just finish this row and probably call it a night for this. And then tomorrow we should probably be able to finish up this quadrant for sure, and then maybe get started on the other quadrant that we don't have done. But yeah, we should be good to go. I think we're totally on track for finishing the top of this quilt by next week. I'm hoping we even have it pressed as well. We'll have it at least sewn, but yeah, then we'll take some time to press it. That's going to take a little bit. But yeah, and that means we'll be starting, I want to start making that fun fabric out of all our scraps really quick after we finish this top. I'd like the back to go pretty fast, but I do love putting in all the remaining fabric of a quilt. I've been kind of liking the idea lately of putting all of that in the back of the quilt. So So I'll look through all my scraps, and we're just going to probably improv piece them together, probably as quick as I can go. But I just want all the pieces of these fabrics in this quilt. And I don't know, I'm getting like a little weird obsession about no remaining pieces. Like, I don't want this fabric in any other quilt, you know? It's just for this quilt, so I want to use it up, but we'll see. Maybe that's too crazy. Ooh, just making sure this is open, the seam. And I'll make kits and then do a turkey lacer class. That'd be fun. I got this as a gift, but they would be just really fun and easy to do, I would think. And, you know, since we've been talking about all the beads and stuff, I've just been really wanting to do some beading stuff. I don't have any large beads like this or these little caps, so that would be kind of a fun thing to go get. But yeah, that would be for fun. And they'd make really good gifts for a sewer, I think. I do have my batting. So my batting is sitting here. I got the warm and natural, and I got the queen size. I have a twin size quilt that I'm doing here, but I wanted it big enough that I could, you know, that I made sure that I had enough for the twin. I always kind of buy up just to make sure that I have enough batting. And then, then I'll, use the scraps for something at some point. But yeah, so I do have my batting. I actually am excited to try out this batting because my mom and I have been getting like a big giant roll of batting, and the last one we got we're almost out of it, and that was like a bamboo kind of mix batting that draped really nicely, like it flowed really nicely, but it did the bearding. I don't know if you guys are familiar with bearding. That's when you are quilting your quilt and little micro tufts of the batting come through to the front of your quilt. It's really noticeable on dark fabric, so it's almost like you can't ever wipe off all these little fuzzles that keep coming. That's called bearding. So some battings do that a little bit more than others. I don't know the reasoning behind any of that. I actually read about it but I don't remember. But the bamboo stuff that we had did that a little bit. So I'd like to find something fun and drapey and kind of natural like that, but that doesn't do the bearding. So I'm excited about this 100% cotton batting. But that's just kind of more natural. It doesn't have all the chemicals and stuff in that sometimes can be in battings. So if it turns out nice and it doesn't do any bearding, then I might go ahead and buy a huge honkin' roll of it. And then Mom and I will use it in all of the quilts, all of our future quilts until we run out. Oh yeah, that bearding. So have you, Patricia, have trouble with bearding with the cotton or not with the cotton at all? It happens, we had that bamboo kind and it was doing that, and I think maybe on polyester batting it might do that a little bit too. All right, I'm out. Here it is. I'm like, I don't have a leader again. Where do they keep going? But yeah, so I'm pretty excited to give it a go. All right, so we have 3 rows sewn together here. I think we're gonna call it here, but I'll just give you guys a peek. Oh, no bearding with the cotton. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for, is no bearding. All right, so we have the bottom. We started from the bottom, so we have the bottom 3 rows all sewn together. Oh, warm and natural. That's what I got, Gretchen. So I'm excited. I haven't used it before. I'm relatively new to quilting. Well, I've been doing quilting for like probably 15 years probably, or over 10 years for sure, but not consistently. So the past few years have been, you know, a huge education for me, a big like jump in every night sort of quilting. So even though I've been doing it, I started, you know, 10 years ago, I think of these last 3 years as like a huge learning curve for me. I like these areas where it's just the purple. But all right, so we have the bottom 3, so we still have to do these top 2. They're still only together by the webbing here. And then we have that whole other half of the bottom row. So after we do the webbing of all those, oh, the webbing's done. We just don't have the rows of the webbing sewn together, so that it looks like this, the other half. So we'll get that half done as well. Then these two, then the bottom has to be sewn together, and then the top sewn to the bottom, and then it's done. So, oh, I've come so far from 2 years ago. Oh, thanks, Jennifer. I totally agree. Like, if you look at some of the beginning of my Splendid samplers, here, I'm going to flip you guys around. If you look at the beginning videos from the Splendid sampler, there's just so many things that I've gotten a lot better on since then, like needle turn, applique, and all that. All right, here we are. I'll show you this again over here. Ah! It's sliding everywhere. The little webbings want to hook onto everything. All right, so here is the bottom. I love it. It's so bright and fun. This is going to be my nap on the couch blinky. So, all right, so we will for sure get the rest of this part done tomorrow, and then we have that other webbing one here that we got to do. But I'm excited. We are getting this done. Super stoked. And yeah, thanks again for coming, guys. I'm happy to have my sewing machine back and happy to be sewing again with all of y'all. So this will go up on YouTube at Penguin and Fish Movies, and it will stay here on Penguin and Fish Facebook as well. And again, if you did not go to Penguin and Fish Crafters and click join to be in the Penguin and Fish Crafters group, I encourage you to do so. It's just full of a bunch of lovely people, and we just all share our work in a safe, lovely place. It's fun. It's just fun to see what everyone's working on and the variations that everyone is doing in each project, and just hang out with some good people. So, all right, guys, I'm going to head out for the night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, yes. So these are some of the boxes that will be headed to Joann Fabrics. They need to go to FedEx on Monday. So Wall of Boxes is hanging out with us for a few nights there. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night.